and welcome back to my channel. My name is Madeline and I create crafting content here on YouTube. In today's video, I have a vintage knitting video for you. So the first time I did one of these vintage knitting videos was almost a year ago now, so it was last summer, and if you're curious about that video, I'll link it up above. What I did in that video was I took a vintage pattern and I knit through it. So what I'm actually doing in this video is I'm taking a vintage knitting kit. So it comes with both the pattern and the yarn, and I'm going to be working all the way through it, and I'm quite excited. So I've always really enjoyed doing knitting kits. You've probably seen a lot of those reviews on my channel. I have a whole playlist for them. And so how I actually found this one was on Mercari. And if you aren't familiar with Mercari, it's just like a shopping platform, kind of like eBay or Poshmark. I have like this saved search of knitting kit, and one day this vintage knitting kit came up, so I just decided to get some. So I actually ended up buying a bundle that is 4 of these knitting kits in different colors, all with the same pattern though. That way I can mix and match, and you'll see what I'm saying in just a moment. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to be having a giveaway. So if you're interested in trying one of these knitting kits that I got here, of course I'll have some extra because I'm not going to knit all 4 of them. So if you're interested in entering in the giveaway, stay tuned to the end of the video where there'll be instructions. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to unbox these vintage knitting kits. And I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but I ordered a total of 4 of them in like a bundle in 4 different yarn colors, or 3 different yarn colors, something like that. And so what we're going to do is we're going to unbox them. I'm going to show you the patterns I'm going to be knitting and the yarn I'm going to be using. And so these ones are called Tessan Cotton Carol. And if you're looking for these online, if you want to find like these same knitting kits, there are quite a few available on like eBay and Poshmark and things like that. Some people spell this with a J, some people spell it with a T, so I would try searching each one of those if you're looking for it, but it is a T. It's Tessan Cotton Carol, and it actually comes with these 3 different tank top patterns. So one is technically, I think, a knitted vest, and then 2 tank tops. So I'm curious to see what's inside. Each one comes with 4 balls of yarn, and it does say made in Holland. And as you can see, these ones were originally from K-Mart, so they must have been being marked down at some point because we started around $8 and then we keep on getting cheaper here. So the colorways I have are white. Here's another white one. Looks like that's just on the label on the outside. A pink. And then a blue. So I think I'm going to open up one of these white ones first. So let's just, it's also interesting that some of them have the labels and other ones don't. I'll open up this one first, I guess. Okay, so this is everything that came inside. So first I have my 4 balls of cotton yarn. And this yarn, it is like a thick and thin yarn. It looks like it's supposed to be around a sport to DK weight because it recommends between a 5 and a 6 US knitting needle size. Or if you use millimeters, 3.5 to 4 millimeters. 160 yards per ball of yarn. This is color number 3, made in Holland, 100% cotton. And these ones all do look like they're in perfect condition. Then we have the pattern. So this one, again, uses the same knitting needle size, same gauge. And then inside of here, there are 1, 2, 3 patterns, and they're written in both English and French. I don't see a date on this anywhere. So I'm going to have to come back and let you know if I ever find a date. But they kind of just look like, what would that be, like 70s to 80s style? I think they're pretty fun. So the one I think I'm going to try is maybe this blue one over here. I feel like that one looks like a lot of fun. So let's say I'm going to try knitting this one first out of this white yarn. And then if I enjoy that one, maybe I'll try another one of these tanks out of another one of the colors. Okay, so I just wanted to give a quick update on how the shirt is going. So first, I finished one of the panels. So this is the back panel. So we have some ribbing down there at the bottom, a really pretty lace panel that goes up the center, and then the top neckline there. I think it turned out really nice. I also think this will block out really pretty once I wash it at the end. And then I've started the second panel, so this one will be the front. And for these two that I've worked so far, I've used 2 balls of the yarn. So I'm about to wind up another one. And basically what I've ended up doing with the yarn was it just kind of smelled a little bit like it had been in storage for a while, so I just decided to wash it all. So you can't really wash yarn when it's in the ball form. So what I did is I just used the back of a chair and I turned it into a skein of yarn. And then I used a zip tie to keep it from getting all tangled. I soaked this in some like lukewarm water with a little bit of dish soap in it. And then I just rolled it out, let it dry. And now I'm going to use my Swift and ball winder to turn it back into a ball of yarn that I can knit with. And I'm really happy with how this worked out. I also think it just brought a little bit more like body back to the yarn. It's been knitting really nice. I like the thick and thin cotton. I don't know if we have an equivalent right now that's available. I'll have to Google that, and if I can find one, I'll put it on the screen. I think this might be pretty similar. Karen Cotton Ripple Cakes. A little bit of that thick and thin. But I'll zoom in on the fabric a little bit here so you can see it. But the thick and thin, like it looks really cool with the lace pattern as well. It isn't something that I would think about using that way though. Like in my head I wouldn't be like, oh, that would be a cool place to use it. But I actually think it turns out really pretty. And it also makes it look more like a little bit more casual of a tank top. So I like that. And the last thing I wanted to mention too that I thought of as I was working this is I'm amazed like how much pattern they could fit just into one tiny corner. Because basically this little tiny corner down here is like this whole pattern that I've knit so far. It's essentially like a 6-row repeat. And then this whole neckline they described to you in like 2 sentences. It's just amazing. Nowadays I feel like a lot of patterns, including my own, I'm definitely guilty. They're just very like wordy, very descriptive. Whereas these patterns, a lot of these ones that are older that I've knit from, or even just a lot of catalog patterns, they take out a lot of the details. So instead of like telling you exactly what kind of increase to use, it'll just be like increase X number of stitches across the next row, space them evenly, and then that's all it gives you. Whereas now I feel like there's a lot more pressure to be like, oh, increase every 5 stitches, use a make one right, and then knit 7 stitches, do another make one right. Like much more descriptive. So I just think that's an interesting difference between the two. Just thought I'd mention that as well. But yeah, now I'm going to keep on knitting along and I'll come back and show you the finished thing. Okay, so I've now finished knitting both of the pieces. And you can see we have the front here and the back here. But I did make a bit of a mistake because I realized in the pattern that before I seam the two together, I'm supposed to add a little bit of ribbing around the neck bands and around like the arm openings. And I hadn't noticed that in the original picture. So let's see, you can see it like a little bit there. It's just like a little tiny bit of ribbing. I didn't realize that though, and I was trying to be organized and like I slipped each stitch or every other row along this edge because I was trying to create a little bit of a cleaner edge. So now I can't really go back and pick up that edge because I'm going to have half the number of stitches. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do there. Otherwise though, all that's left to do if I skip that ribbing part is I'm just going to seam the two pieces together up along the sides and then up here at the top. Or maybe I'll try adding the ribbing real quick and then seaming them together and then wash it. But that's what I'm currently trying to figure out right now. So here is the finished tank top, and with it I'm just wearing a little white tank top underneath it because of course the lace detail down the front is a little bit see-through. And then these are the same like vintage style shorts that I wore in my video last year, so I thought they would complete this look as well. Overall, I think the fit is pretty good. It is a little bit shorter than I usually would go, and it even felt like while I was knitting it I tried to make it a little bit longer. But I think it's fine when you wear like high-waisted shorts like this. It looks pretty cute. So the front, the back, the yarn has a really nice texture to it. It's like, of course it's cotton, and it's a fairly lightweight cotton too because of like the thick and thin nature of it. So overall, I would recommend this. I also left off, as I mentioned before, that ribbing neckline and around the shoulder, and I actually don't know how much that would have added to it. It probably would have kept these from curling like a little bit, but not too much, so I'm happy with how it turned out. I think it looked cute, and I think this will be a fun little summertime tank. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. If you're interested in that giveaway, stay tuned for just 1 second and I'll give you all those instructions. I'll see you next time. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I did purchase a total of 4 of these knitting kits, so now I have 3 extra ones left over. So if you are interested in receiving one of these extra knitting kits, I'm going to be doing a little giveaway for those. So this giveaway I'm just going to do through the comments down below. So if you're interested in receiving one of these, I'll just ship it to anywhere in the US. So sorry, it's constrained only in the US. It's kind of difficult to ship out of the US. So what I'm going to do is just leave a comment down below and leave a little, some sort of emoji that I know you're interested. Let's do a little sunshine emoji or something like that. I'll leave it open for about 2 weeks, so 2 weeks from the day I publish this video. And then I'll just comment back if you're one of the winners that's selected. So look for the official KnittingHouseSquare YouTube channel, it'll be me. And I'll comment back, and then you can send me an email through that, and that's how we'll keep it all settled. So again, 2 weeks it'll be open. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, again, feel free to leave them down below. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Bye.